Okay, this is going to be a series of videos, so the one you're watching is only one of a series, and I do encourage you to watch the rest of them. Also, I encourage you to watch the full-length webumentary titled Global Warming, Myth or Reality, A Skeptic's View. It goes through the entire science behind global warming, but with this series, we're going to pick and choose some interesting pieces, and we're going to ask the viewer, does global warming pass the stink test? We're going to take a look at the science, and I want you to ask yourself, does that even make sense? Most importantly, ask yourself, if a big oil company produced a report like that, wouldn't the environmentalists be going ape nuts? Because what we're going to do is we're going to take a hard look at the science. And then once again, just ask yourself, does this pass the stink test? Okay, here's another great example on Al Gore's scientific prowess from his movie, The Inconvenient Truth. This is a report. This is one of the pages from his books, and what it shows here, supposedly the scientific consensus for global warming. On the left, he has they pulled 928 scientific journal reports about global warming. 0 skeptics were involved in that 928 articles that were read. However, over to the right, they pulled 636 news articles, and 53 of those had data or responses that were skeptical of global warming. So what Al Gore's conclusion is that there's a global warming consensus, and yet his own report shows that there's a great deal of data out there that is being published in newspapers and things like that is skeptical of global warming. Yeah, I mean, they're getting this data from scientists. I mean, they're not making it up. I think what really is the interesting question is why, if the reporters can find so many scientific articles out there that are skeptical of global warming, why aren't they being published? So what that shows me is basically there's a censorship of these skeptics, because once again the media seems to be able to refine them. They seem to have valid doubts about global warming. This entire video series shows why they have those doubts, and yet none of those scientists are good enough to have their reports published. So I just ask you, is it the fact that nobody's skeptical, or is it that there's a tremendous bias in the scientific community having to do with global warming?